She looks at her husband at the far end of a series of rooms. Veronese steps through a door. He's been out hunting. Is he late? At Villa Marseille, a great architect, Palladio, and a great painter, Veronese, have joined forces to create, well, for once, all the adjectives of the guidebooks are inadequate. In these rooms, nothing is what it seems. Is that a real column, or is it painted? Is that a real window? Even stranger are the people. Although dead for 4 centuries, they are still alive in these rooms. They watch us from a painted gallery. They half hide behind painted columns. The mistress of the house looks down on us, most suspiciously. One has the eerie sense that they are real, and we are the ghosts from future time. Art is long, we are told, and man's life is certainly short. Although Venice may one day vanish beneath the Adriatic, it has lasted quite a long time, not only as a working city, but as a work of art. Although the Venetians produced very little literature, they have produced an astonishing number of remarkable painters. But then, did the painters create the city, which looks like a painting? Or did the city influence the painters? Certainly, every square looks like a set for an opera that is about to begin. The critic Hazlitt thought that every art is at its peak at the beginning. This certainly seems to be true of Venetian painting. Painters were always in great demand here. Churches, government buildings, even trade union halls wanted to see familiar stories vividly illustrated. This is a union or a guild hall. And here Carpaccio painted the story of St. George and the Dragon. Painters were regarded by the Venetians with the same mixture of reverence and contempt that we now regard film directors. When a major painter revealed his latest work, it was like a film premiere. Carpaccio was one of the most splendid of the proto-movie makers. Here is St. George, played by the Robert Redford of his day. The Dragon, special effects by Steven Spielberg. The Dragon's Dinner, youths and maidens idly gnawed. There was to be nothing ever again so horrific until our very own Texas Chainsaw Massacre. If Carpaccio was the William Wyler of Venetian painting, Tintoretto was the Cecil B. DeMille. Tintoretto, like DeMille, was at his best with crowds and fires. Here's St. Mark, and who else but the marvelous Charlton Heston, swoops down from heaven in order to save from torture a fellow actor. And here we have the master's highly unusual theory about the origin of the Milky Way. This science fiction will not appeal to purists like Carl Sagan, but it is certainly marvelous the way that an entire galaxy emerges from the star's breast. This is what we call box office. For more refined audiences, we have Veronese, the Fellini of his day. After he decorated Macer, he was asked to paint The Last Supper, but the Inquisition complained. What were all these pets, dwarfs, drunks, German soldiers doing at Christ's Last Supper? This was very much the sort of petulant review that Fellini still gets. So Veronese made a number of changes. But when the Inquisition told him that the dog in the center must be replaced by Mary Magdalene, Veronese refused. Then the censor said, well, why don't you change the painting's title to Feast in the House of Levi? And that is how the picture was finally released. Of all the Venetian painters, Giorgione is the strangest and, to me, the most haunting. This picture is called The Tempest for want of a better title. A hot summer day, a flash of lightning in the distance, a wall, a bridge, a woman nurses her child and looks at us. A man walks by and looks at her. We will never know what it is they know, but looking into her face, one sees what she will become when she is old. She is still looking at us, but now she holds in her hand a message. Col tempo. With time, you will be like me. After the great age of painting and empire, Venice began to turn inward. During the plague of 1630, human life seemed more than ever fragile. In desperation, the Venetians built Santa Maria della Salute as a prayer for deliverance from a plague in which 46,490 people died, a third of the population of Venice. An age of religious music now began. Gabriele, Monteverdi, Croce. In Venice's great days, the Venetians were accused of worshipping not God, but the state. Now they have turned most seriously from state to God. And then came an age of non-religious music. A Frenchman named de Brosse was amazed by the Venetian passion for music. Not a single evening goes by, he wrote, without a concert somewhere. The people run along the canal to hear it with such passion that you would suppose that they had never heard anything like it before. You cannot imagine how crazy the city is about this art. This was the age of Vivaldi and Tartini. Death had concentrated the Venetian mind marvelously well. As the 18th century began, Venice was now ready to sacrifice publicness for privateness, duty for pleasure, the world well lost for romantic love.